Hi there, guys. Welcome back to Anything Blows. My name's Dika, and on today's video, I've got a reaction video for you guys. More specifically, last week's boxing, more specifically, Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius, and I am proud to be joined again by a former guest of the channel, professional one-on-one heavyweight boxer Ergal Elezaj, fellow Albanian. Ergal, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. It's good to be back. Good to see you again.
Love to hear, brother. Appreciate it. We're going to pick up where we were last time. Campbell Hatton versus Tom Ansell. Campbell Hatton won this fight via points, via decision, 8-round contest. Campbell Hatton moves on to 13-0. What do you think of that fight, and how do you evaluate Tom's performance also?
I thought it was a great fight, It was a very, very entertaining fight. I thought Tom Ansell could have done a bit better. I thought there was certain moments that he was making a few mistakes, he was falling over on the front foot. But that's why I feel like he was getting caught a bit too often when he was falling over on his front foot. But other than that, it was a great fight. And Campbell Hatton, to be fair to him, he looked good. Because Tom Ansell's a good opponent, and I feel like Campbell Hatton looked good. Because up until now, he's had a few shaky performances, but it looks like he's getting a hang of it now and he's getting up there.
100% agree with you there, bro, because when I watched him 2 years ago on the AJ undercard against Usyk, he was put one before co-main event, and people thought, why is he so high up on the card? And he didn't even perform the best he could. So must have been a lot of pressure, but he's leveled up. He's gone to Spain, he's gone to the smaller shows, and he's improved himself. And it was a great bout. You know what? I was supporting Tom as well, and I did want Tom to win. However, and Tom looked great stylistically, but as you say, a few mistakes made there. But when you're going up against a guy such as Campbell Hatton, their own boy, they're building him up, it's almost impossible to beat him. It's like they're just chucking you in there to get beat. Unless you impressed, they were going to give it that way. But it was a great performance from Campbell, but it was a lot closer than many people thought. Now, moving on, heavyweight division. We start off with the heavyweights now. Johnny Fisher versus Harry Armstrong. Johnny Fisher won this fight by a 7th-round knockout against Harry Armstrong. Knocked him down in the first round as well. How do you evaluate Johnny Fisher's performance and the new Southern Area heavyweight champion?
I thought it was a good performance. Again, he just came out and just went all out. Just all out in the first round. And I think it just threw Harry off guard. I feel like being dropped obviously that early into the fight as well changes the whole game plan to the fight. So but like the composure just wasn't there for Harry after getting hit so early. But still, again, it's gonna sound like hate, but I just didn't see Johnny Fisher didn't seem like he didn't look that good. He didn't have anything special there. He looked like he's a strong fighter. He's a big guy, so of course he's gonna power behind his punches. But it just looked a bit amateur. Like I didn't see anything that I could say, like he's an outstanding boxer. I just feel like he caught Harry early. And Harry just didn't recover. I don't think he recovered back into the fight. I feel like if he didn't get caught that early, it would have went differently. However, obviously, always if buts and maybes. But from what I saw, credit to Johnny Fisher. He got the win in the end. Good knockdown. Good, strong guy. But still, I just didn't see much. I didn't see it to say boxer.
It was a great contest. Obviously, once he got him down in the first 20 or 15 seconds of the fight, I thought, oh my God, Johnny's going to get him out of there. As you say, other fighters, other heavyweights would have got him out straight away, gave Harry a little bit more time to recover. He did play it out stylistically, as you said, and congratulations to Johnny, commiserations to Harry Armstrong, and hopefully he'll be back in there with the mix of these guys real soon. But congratulations, Johnny, and it was a great performance. Now, we move on to FilipHrgovic versus Demsey McKean. You know what? Typical Orthodox versus Southpaw fight. Many people call this fight boring online. For me, it was a very technical fight. And then when he got knocked out in the last few seconds of this 12th round, I was like, what's that about? But I think he might have been knocked down, signed up. And then when he went to his corner, referee was calling him back and he was walking away. So what do you evaluate that fight?
I enjoyed that fight, to be honest with you. I thought it was a good fight. However, obviously, like you said, because it was Orthodox with a Southpaw fight, in some people's eyes, it could have looked a bit boring. But to be fair, I enjoyed it. I feel like it shouldn't have been stopped. I thought it was stopped early. Well, not early. I could see why. If it was earlier in the fight, I can see. But where it was so late into the fight, and I'm not quite sure how long, if it was a minute left or how long I was left into the fight. Yeah. But because at that point, I thought the fight was quite close. So I feel like the ref should have let it go. But then again, you never know, man. You're playing with another man's health in there. So if it stopped, it stopped. Maybe the ref saw something that we didn't. So the ref probably made the best decision on the night. But obviously, we would have liked to see it go to decision. I would like to see points-wise how it would have went.
100%, and I agree with you there. Probably the referee saw something we didn't, and health comes first and foremost in the ring. However, if it would have gone a decision, who knows? I don't know. It's so hard to score a bout like that, especially watching live because it was so technical. But I would have liked to see what the outcome would have been. Now, moving on to the co-main event. Okay, it's in his home nation. I'm a big fan of this guy. Love Derek Chisora, right? Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. Did you think Derek done enough to win the fight, or was Gerald robbed?
It's a difficult one because, like you said, Derek Chisora being obviously the home fighter, and Derek Chisora being who he is, and being such an icon in British boxing, it was expected for him to win, regardless of what the performances was. I think it was expected for him to win regardless. But I feel like Gerald Washington did put a shift in, but Derek was putting a lot of pressure on. And a lot of judges these days are looking for the pressure fighter, the volume. And I feel like that's why he got the win, especially him being who he is as well. And it all just played into the factor. And I feel that's why he got his decision.
100%, brother. Agree with you there. And obviously, watching it live, I thought Gerald had a lot of the earlier rounds. And it's a typical Derek Chisora fight. Even that Kubrat Pulev one, I didn't think he won in the moment. But, you know, sluggish, going forward, pressure. I can agree with you. And, of course, Derek being who Derek is, an icon in British boxing. Now, moving on to the main event. How do you evaluate Anthony Joshua's 7th round knockout over Robert Helenius, Conor McGregor ringside as well? But how do you evaluate that? And one thing I'm going to say, looking how that performance went off, if that was Dillian Whyte in there, do you think AJ would have been a little bit more motivated to go at it? Or because it's going to be a different fight with Dillian there, you can't take your time like that.
I feel like Anthony Joshua's gun shy. I feel like watching that fight and watching previous last few fights as well, he looks a little bit gun shy. He's scared to get in the mix. I feel like if that was Dillian Whyte in there, I feel like Dillian Whyte's probably sitting at home with his head in his hands thinking that would have been his night. Because Anthony Joshua, I feel like, other than the knockout being, like, honestly speaking, the knockout was a great knockout. Yeah. Good place for the baiting upstairs, coming downstairs and coming over with the right hand was great placement on the right hand. But up until then, I thought it was quite a close fight. I feel like Helenius was putting some punches together. I thought Joshua was putting some punches together, but I don't think it should have been as competitive as it was up until that point. I just feel like Anthony Joshua was getting gun shy, and seeing him fighting Deontay Wilder next, I just don't see him winning it. I don't see him winning it. I feel like Deontay Wilder going in there, he's going to be too confident in his right hand, and I feel like Anthony Joshua is still going to be a bit gun shy, and Deontay's going to land.
One of my favourite quotes that comes from Deontay Wilder is, they have to be perfect for 12 rounds. I've only got to be perfect for 2 seconds. My reaction to that one is, watching in the arena, I wasn't, not say satisfied. Obviously, I've seen AJ before, and my first ever time seeing him was against Usyk the first time. Completely different fight then, completely different now. Look, I do agree with you on that sense. I will never disrespect the fighter, but what I can agree, he does look a lot more tentative, and he doesn't look like he wants to engage. Could he have got Helenius out there a lot earlier? Probably so. He broke the man down. He got him out with a right hook. I'm not saying that, I'm not complaining about the knockout. I'm not saying it's too late on or should he have done it earlier. It's perfect. But again, as you're saying, if that's a different fighter in there, let's not say Dillian, but let's say like a Michael Hunter or Gerald Washington, someone like that, they're going to come with it, and you can't take your time with those type of guys. So I appreciate that. And it's honestly at the end of the day, and if you put that Anthony Joshua against Dillian Whyte or Deontay Wilder, of course, I'd back him 100% on any given day. But being a realist, I don't see it happening. So thank you, Ergal, for joining the channel one more time. That concludes the reaction to this fight. It's an honor, as always, to have you on the channel.
Subscribe to Anything Blows.